A fetus is not a baby. Is it true that a fetus is a form of life? Of course it is. It is made up of live cells. It's growing and processing energy. It has the capacity to mature and reproduce. It has a genetic system, and so on. Will an abortion destroy this form of life? Yes, absolutely. Well then, is an abortion killing another human being? No, absolutely not. A fetus is not yet a human being. It is nothing but a clump of cells with the potential to become a human being. It is alive. That is also true of all the other cells in a person's body. It has no life of its own yet. It is not yet a separate life from the life of the person in whose uterus it is. The anti-abortionists carry big signs showing fetuses floating around in a woman's uterus, as if they are totally separate from women. But contrary to how they portray things, an embryo or fetus can't survive on its own. It gets oxygen from the pregnant person's blood, excretes waste through the pregnant person. And this is true until the fetus is born, when it becomes a baby. It is no more an independent human being than any other organ or part of a woman's body. 90% of abortions take place in the first trimester, the first 3 months. 3 weeks into the pregnancy, the whole embryo is only about 2 millimeters long, and about 6 weeks, the embryo is about the size of a lentil. By the 3rd month of the pregnancy, the embryo is now called a fetus. It starts to look a little more human as it grows arms, legs, sex organs, fingers, and toes. It is undergoing a lot of changes, but inside, its internal organs, muscles, skeleton, and nervous system are still very undeveloped. The whole thing is only about 25 millimeters long. Even at the end of the 2nd trimester, a fetus cannot survive outside the pregnant person's uterus without special medical measures. Its brain is still very unformed. Its lungs are not ready to take in air. It is still very much a part of the pregnant person's body and completely dependent on her bodily processes. It is not a human being until it is born and takes its first breath. Pregnancy is not some mysterious event guided by outside forces either. It is part of the normal processes of the woman's body, and the choice of whether or not to carry an embryo or fetus to term or to have an abortion belongs to the woman. A woman has no moral obligation to carry a fetus to term simply because she gets pregnant. A woman who chooses at whatever point and for whatever reason to terminate a pregnancy should feel fine about doing so and should be able to. When it comes to abortion, there really is only one moral question. Will women be free to determine their own lives, including whether and when they will bear children? Or will women be subjugated to patriarchal male authority, whether it comes down at the hand of another person, or the church, or the government, and forced to breed against her will? Taking up the fight for women's liberation is an essential part of the emancipation of humanity as a whole. Abortion on demand and without apology. Taking up the fight for women's liberation as an essential part of the emancipation of humanity as a whole, building powerful and uncompromising resistance to every assault on women today, modeling a whole different and emancipatory morality rooted in the goal and struggle to uproot all forms of exploitation and oppression. digging into and taking up the radical and truly liberating science of communism, which has been advanced by Bob Avakian. All this is the responsibility and the opportunity of everyone who craves a different world.